All right, we're recording. Hey guys, what's happening?
Hey, evening.
You may
What's
notice
up,
we
big
have a
man? Hey,
fourth.
Dennis.
We have a fourth tonight. Sarah joined us. What's up?
Hello, how are you guys?
We're
What's
doing
up,
great.
Bucky?
This is fantastic. We're not used to this. We're gonna have to find a new flow with a fourth. Now, are you more of a color man? You know, because Denny and Alex really talk trash. They talk straight fantasy football, and I try to pepper it up a little bit. What kind of role do you think you're gonna play?
I think it's going to be like a nice like background music type thing, singing for you guys.
A little nice tempo.
Yeah, Sarah, thanks for joining us. It's good to have you. Pretty excited, to go through the different, the games, see what your thoughts are. Hopefully, you know what the acronym JAX stands for now that you've been playing almost 5 years. So, see a little progress made.
yeah, it's a prize dog. So,
All right.
It is my
So
time.
why don't we just dive right on into this? So, we're on to week 4 now of 2020. And this has got to be, I have to tell you guys, I'm already over fantasy football this year. Last week, I tied Megan 111 to 111.5 to 111.5.
Jesus Christ.
In our 5 years of playing, we've only had 2 ties.
Wasn't I one?
Me?
And beat Brien.
Dude, I was pissed too because I didn't know the rule about the bench. Because when it's a tie, they calculate the scores on your bench, and whoever has the highest bench wins. But I didn't fill my bench that year. I was trying to keep things open and loose.
Yeah, so this is what I get for harping
Yeah.
on people having 2 quarterbacks. And of course, her second quarterback absolutely went off. So it wasn't even a competition. She cleaned up. She gets the W. I am now sitting at 1-2 and looking forward to having to replace several players because of this postponed game. So one of the topics we'll talk about today is we've had our first COVID-19 related impact to the season. We'll go through how that's going to be managed. And then one of the requests we had actually by our guest today was to show how trades can be made. So we will go through and teach everybody how to do that.
Yeah, that sounds good. You can just go ahead and send me all your best players, and I'll send you my worst players, and we'll call it an evening.
At this point, I'm good with that. I'm done with this anyway, so.
I have been spying a little bit more. Because
Okay,
I definitely got to separate out Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. So I'm looking to make some moves there. I also think that Gurley is the selling point at the moment.
I sent her a trade early this week. She didn't even pay attention. She didn't even respond. How rude. How rude.
to me,
No, girly girl. Chris.
I was like, shit.
Maybe
there it is.
maybe we implement a rule next year that if you don't respond, the trade goes through. You have to at least acknowledge it.
Yeah, but Tycho's like,
Show who's
will be up at
participating.
3 a.m. sending trade requests.
You still get the appropriate amount of time to respond. You get like a 5-day window.
I have noticed that in our particular group and my group of friends, I feel way more comfortable texting before 7 a.m. than I do texting after 9 p.m. Like if it's 6:30 a.m., I'm like, yeah, they're all up. We're good.
Yeah.
But if it's like 8:45 at night, I'm like, bedtime, don't text them. Oh, this was terrible for you, man.
So that's right. The Titans Steelers game is going to be postponed. They're trying to get the game to occur on Monday or Tuesday of next week. They think is the earliest time slot they can have it. As of now, they're posting the game as postponed, or it'll be the equivalent of a bye week. Because
Is that why on the app now there's like players that like randomly say bye, even though there's also points projected for them?
Exactly.
Okay, I was like, this is a horrible update. That's what I thought happened.
Yeah, no. And this is where I one of my gripes with ESPN here is that I think this is a COVID.
Are you being attacked?
COVID-related impact. So these players should, frankly, be designated IR because for me, right now, I'm probably going to have to drop some players I would not have dropped, regardless if it had been a buy or not. especially since I'm sitting 1 and 2. I can't move him to the IR slot. So I think this is being handled poorly by the ESPN platform. So what I'm going to have to do is probably drop players like Big Ben. He's going to be on the waiver wire next week.
Is there any way we can try some sort of honor system?
Have you met the people we play with?
What makes you guys think that they won't get the points at a later time when the game is actually played?
Right. So that's the other aspect. If they do play on Tuesday, I don't know what ESPN will do. The weeks end on Monday night at midnight. So the points, if they play Tuesday, they would count towards week 5 instead of week 4. So we can either do something where I go back and adjust the scores to reflect those points. If everybody is willing to agree to that, that's fine. Or it's just, I can work the waiver wire. We'll put it out to a vote. We will need people to actually participate and respond. So I'll send it out to the text chain so everybody's aware. That seems to be the best way to get everyone's attention. But that's one of the things we're going to have to put to a vote is how to handle the players moving or the upcoming game that's being postponed.
I know ESPN is a monster and they live under the Disney family, so they're not short on money, but like getting this all reprogrammed just in that event and then maybe having to change it and rewrite the program every day seems ridiculous. If I was them, I'd be like, too bad, losers. Fantasy football's done for the season.
Pretty much what he said in the chat today when I was asking the guy questions about what happens with the players. And then, yes, I did go to ESPN Help Chat to talk through what happens.
He's like, I am a commissioner and I have to get all the answers.
Do you understand? We're having fun, goddammit.
Yeah. Did the
IT guy's like smoking a cigarette, like, God damn it, I got another one.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, it's usually some dude in India. He's like, my family has one goat, man. Back off.
I was just gonna say this dude's life has probably been ravaged by COVID, and we're sitting there complaining to him because our fantasy football isn't working right. And he's
Yeah. Okay. So
or just the fact that he has to live in.
So you'll see that under the status, these guys have postponed next to their game, so we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm probably going to have to drop a player or two and just work the waiver wire.
The question is, what is the waiver wire?
So the waiver wire is the players that are currently available to be picked up that are in free agency that you can add to your roster at any time during the season. Waiver order is the order in which priority is given for team members to claim a player. It is in reverse order of the standings. It resets each week. So if you gain first overall priority in week 2 and do not use it and win, you will lose the first overall priority. You will then probably move to second or third. So what I'm trying to say here is if you gain the top priority or each week you need to use your waiver claim in order to gain the top player.
So you did 63 trades last year because you were so bad.
Yes, well, I started as that's a great comment, Sarah. So as you highlighted, 0-4 is not an ideal start. 0-4, but I do believe someone made it all the way to the championship game. Yeah, that was this guy. Yeah, so I don't want to hear from you not being good here, kids.
You gotta dig out of that hole.
Yeah.
This year you're starting worse than the Eagles. That's pretty hard.
I think I'm already I'm going to probably surpass my goal of not being a waiver wire worker and trying to hold pat with most of my team. I'm not trying to overhaul every week, but I find I'm already starting at bad moves like last week when I knew Allen Lazard should have had a better game than Scantling because he's the number 2 and the number 1's going to be covered by their best. And it goes off, and of course I cut one for the other.
Yeah.
And I didn't play him, but he was on my bench. But still, now Lazard's out there for someone to grab in case Adams is injured again this week and stands to have another really good week.
There was one more question. Can you tell us what NARDs are, Alex?
This is the interesting question that will be covered in next week's podcast. We need to stay on topic here. I've been requested to keep these things short, focused, and to the point.
I do have to let you know that I got a call from Mom this week that was like, "Oh my goodness, you can hear Alex say he can't get it up." I was like, there's phone calls I didn't expect.
I was so angry that nobody got my joke. I'm like, nobody wrote back. Nobody knows what Blue Chew is.
You got it.
If you listen to any
Oh my God.
podcast that feature a dude, it's all about Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
They tell you Blue Chew, Ridge wallets, supplements. Crazy.
Yeah, after this, we got to talk podcasts.
All right, perfect.
Absolutely. I need a fresh one. Okay, so just, one of the things here that Dennis also brought up before we jumped on and started recording is that there's a new button on the home page for managing your roster. It's called Manage IR. Now,
Is this
this
only
is
on the
important.
website?
It's on the website. I haven't had to try to move anybody out of the IR spot on the app. So I'll figure that out. But if you're on the website, Manage IR, you need to click this in order to remove a player from IR.
And if you have a player that is generally healthy, but you stashed there for just a week because he was only going to miss 1 week, you can't make waiver claims until you move him back onto your bench.
Right.
But you won't know that unless you're fully reading and paying attention. I didn't notice it today until I tried doing it for the third time. And then it told me I had to activate my guy that's now questionable onto the bench before I could make a waiver claim.
Okay, so the IR spot is like, in theory, if someone like exploded their kneecap, you could be like, I'll sit you in the IR until your kneecap gets healed up. Okay.
Yes, until his leggy workies, as you refer to it. So right now for me, I have Christian McCaffrey on what ESPN did that I will give him credit for that is smart to move a player out of IR. All you have to do is edit your lineup, select the edit lineup in the app. You can move the player anywhere in the roster. And like Dennis said, if it is just a 1 or 2 week absence where their designation is out, or you'll see the little O next to their name, you can put them in the IR spot for that week. However, when the next week's practices begin, that designation will change to either questionable, or if it does change to questionable, you then have to move them out of the IR slot to make waiver claims because it's technically an illegal lineup if you do not.
So what symbols qualify someone to go in the IR spot? Just the O?
So it's either IR next to their name or O, standing for out.
How mad are you that I've won this before?
Very, very.
I didn't even know there was a website.
I literally did. Is this online?
By the way, I love the website. Like I'm so old, I prefer the website.
I'm over here fighting with some dude in India that my players should be IR eligible. And this girl doesn't even know there's a goddamn website.
This is fantastic.
Okay, so how to make a trade? Do we want to do how to make a trade real quick and then we'll get into
sure.
standings?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I want to go to Not Such a Girly Girl. I want to get Cam Akers. You click on the player you would like to trade for. Select trade. If there's any other players you want to add in the deal, click continue. Select the player you want to trade.
A kicker.
And click confirm. Your trade offer has been sent. She should receive a notification letting her know that there has been a trade request.
Do we still vote on trades or do we let them go through?
So if she accepts it, you have the opportunity to veto it.
Okay. You know, it'd be a cool feature for future years is we could potentially add stuff to our trades that doesn't exist in the ESPN world. So we could swap our draft picks where we could be like, I'll send you this plus, hand-baked cookies or something. So I'm open to working
Case of
outside.
beer.
Yeah. One back rub, one car wash.
Love the idea.
Babysitting.
Yeah.
I'll give you some of my weed.
I'll give you all my players for your.
Oh man. So that's how you do a trade. It's the same way in the app. If you click on a player's name on another team, right? Go into their bio. Select trade. Pick the player you want to send to them, and then click submit. Sarah, I just sent you a trade. You should think about it. CEH Clyde Edwards-Helaire for James Conner. I think he's going to have a big week this week. It's going to be huge.
I hate you. I also got an email, so just important that you know. Would it be frowned upon, do you think, like for those of us who don't know a lot about the league to like, okay, so I know I need a new running back. If I put out to the whole group, like, hey, I have this quarterback I'm willing to give up, who's got a decent running back they're willing to.
I think that kind of stuff would go a long way. I think people would
Okay.
jump on that. Absolutely.
Okay.
Highly encourage that. One of the like if you want to talk trade etiquette, I think it's important to send, before you send somebody a trade, like I just did with Kristen, give them a heads up it's coming. Like, hey, I'm trying to get a running back. You can text the whole group. You can email the group saying, hey, I have an extra QB I want to get rid of, and send that out to the league to let them know.
And listen, and make sure you listen to these videos all the way through, because last week Brien and Alex proposed there's some trades out there that people may be looking to make.
Crap.
So they're going through your lineups too and figuring out the best fit to help everyone win.
Nice plug, Denny.
Now Blue Chew.
Yeah, now let's talk about Blue Chew and Blue Emu.
All right.
So we have a league now that has 3 undefeated teams, a whole bunch of mess in the middle, and then 4 teams without a win. That is just wild. I didn't expect to have that many teams without a win coming out of this weekend. I will say I'm not surprised by the 3 undefeated teams. I actually think that's low, but the teams that are up there totally make sense, except for now we're learning that Sarah has never actually interacted with this interface at all.
Never seen it before.
You said it and forget it.
Hands off,
Like
man.
rollers.
That'll be the question for the week. Do you have a favorite as seen on TV item that you purchased? We have my pillows. Somebody bought them for us for Christmas. They're not that bad. That dude's a little off, but
Yeah, I don't want him selling me shit, but I'll buy another one of those pillows.
Yeah, we had some swings here in the final rankings. Basic Breeze has dropped to 5th for some reason. Must be because of she does not have a DST listed right now. That's why I think that occurred. But I've dropped off a cliff mostly because I think I've lost Big Ben, James Conner. Half my team is being postponed. We'll see. Campaign Blazers, not surprised she jumped all the way to 1st. Dennis, your squad has been rock solid the last 2, or since the start of the season. You're also undefeated.
Nice.
B-Man, relatively constant. Now, Sarah.
right in the middle, average
Right in
Joe.
the middle. That's been your MO, baby. All right, let's see. Sarah, you have right about 8th. You're qualified for the playoffs right now. Congratulations.
All right.
I played Brien this week, so that's probably going to get ruined. I don't think I've broken 100 points yet this season.
Let's see.
Yeah, mine's been pretty messy. I don't know. I got nothing good to offer. I think we've played each other quite a bit, though. Pardon me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Put a mask on. Please put a mask on.
If you sneeze in public, it's like saying the N-word. You might as well just run back to your car.
So Sarah, you are correct. You are averaging 90 points a week
Oof.
right now.
It's bad.
Is that?
I just had a good schedule, I think. Like, I'm just playing worse people so far. Like, I played dad.
Your
We had
schedule
such a close
difficulty
game
has
this
been
weekend.
the 15th toughest schedule year to date. So yes, you've had a pretty
Checks out.
easy schedule so far.
Checks out.
The only person with an easier schedule has been Dennis,
Oh.
followed by, let's see, who had 14?
You know, I can't
Chasing
help it.
Summer.
I can't help
not
it.
a good
People
look, guys.
don't
Not a
choose
good
to
look at
address
all.
their lineups.
Did you say Chasing Summer has the 14th easiest schedule?
Excuse me, 14th hardest schedule.
That's really embarrassing. Has he won a game?
No.
I mean, I feel like it's deja vu. This is this guy's world.
He's so bad.
He's a late bloomer. As his mother would say, he's a late bloomer, everybody.
One of his picks was auto-drafted as he was sitting in front of his laptop. He was literally staring at it, and he was like, I got autoed.
The problem is that while his schedule is very easy, his points for is bottom in the league at 15.
Within this
The
document,
only
do you have
person
a
to
way
score lower than him is Knitter Please, averaging 72 points a game. But we know it's a busy season, so this is typically the time we see Mel just disappear. We'll probably see her around again in Christmas just in time to ruin the playoffs.
wasn't there some kind
All
of
right, so do we want to look?
who was supposed to help out? Wasn't there like a bow hunk around? Some fella?
Sorry, guys, I'm breaking up.
Your internet cut out, Brien.
Oh, my bad. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Alex, on here, can you see what the longest winning streak has been and what the longest losing streak has been?
I can pull that together.
You don't
Yeah.
have to do it like right now. We can look at it later. I was just
We'll do it
wondering.
for the next cast, yeah, for the next podcast.
Sounds good.
What I did though is I took based on our year to date, your average score in your average scoring in the first 3 weeks and your rest of season schedule. I tried to forecast what your record would be for the rest of the season. Now, I didn't take out any outliers or, where a team just went off really because there's only been 3 weeks. I don't have enough data to do that. So right now we're projecting that Basic Breeze will go undefeated the rest of the season.
That's crazy.
Knitter Please will not win a game again. What are you giggling out there?
Oh, I'm sure mine's. I can feel the tides turning with me going to play Brien this week.
So Brien, a 1.5 victory. How do you feel about that?
I was pretty nervous. I feel like when the two of us play each other, it's those types of games. Basically, we went into Sunday and Monday night at like 50 points apiece. I mean, by the time most of the games were over, we had pretty pitiful scores, and they were neck and neck. So when I went to bed, I figured there's a chance neither of us could take this, and I ended up winning again by no effort on my end, no stroke of genius, just pure dumb luck where I put players. Goddard going down early was definitely a point drain, but Zeke came through again, as did Dak Prescott. So those guys are holding it down for me. Definitely need help with receivers. Definitely willing to move some running backs. So hit me up if that's something you guys are interested in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right. So just before we go back to the games, looking from a difficulty of schedule of who they play, what's left. Campaign Blazers right now, if everybody continues on their current pace, she's going to have the easiest schedule rest of the season.
Oh, and that team's just
so an already powerhouse squad, just looking, things are aligning right now. Very worried about that. Let's see, Saquon Styes, 15. However, if she continues in the manner, if her team keeps scoring the same way it is, she's only going to finish 12th in points for. So she'll come out about 500. Chasing Summer, your opportunity to turn it around is looking, the opportunity to turn it around is fading by the day, unfortunately. The fifth hardest schedule going forward. So, like you said, Brien and Dennis, the opportunity here to improve your squads while the waiver wire is so thin is through trades. So guys and gals, don't hesitate to get out there, start asking for, what you need and seeing what other people might want for their teams.
Yeah, thanks for pulling all this together. This is really neat stuff.
Of course.
We finally tied it up. We're both 3-3 now.
3-3 now. Exactly. All right. Let's take a look at this week's scoreboard. Let's start at the bottom here. We have Basic Breeze versus Knitter Please.
So it's going to be a whomping.
Yeah.
Right now, projected because Basic Breeze lacks a DST, 105 to 90.6.
Just to give you an update on the Aaron Rodgers, Danica Patrick saga, which I seem to be the only one following. This week she was like, yeah, I'm doing great too. I've been doing lots of art and having lots of fun, so life's good for me too. So apparently they're both killing it separate. Good for them.
So glad to hear it's working out for them. Okay, so when Courtney plays Mallory, it has been a dominant stance by Courtney. 4-1 overall, 3-1 in the regular season, 1-0 in the playoffs. So this history is on the side of Courtney. So we'll see. I think it's going to continue that way personally. Basic Breeze has a pretty stacked lineup. She has Justin Jefferson already on her bench. Not that she'll be starting him. I think that's a little, I want to see it one more week in a row before doing anything like that. But, for me, it's going to be Basic Breeze takes this one.
What was the deal with Devontae Adams last week? I think he had 0 points.
Hamstring. Kept him out.
Yeah.
And they're projecting that he's going to be playing this week?
Yeah, right now they are.
That's a lot of points they're putting up for the fella, too. Interesting.
Yeah, they're going to, so last week, Knitter Please lost DJ Shark, Devontae Adams. This is really hoping that, and then the Saints DST put up negative points. So no good when two of your starters, you get goose eggs from 2 of your starters, and then the negative points from the Saints DST. Obviously hoping to turn it around here. I don't, if Adams is healthy, it's decent chance here, but I just think the Basic Breeze has too much firepower right now and favorable matchups.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I think the only thing that could help her help out Knitter Please in this week could be quarterback play from Lamar Jackson. They're up against Washington. He has legs, he can move, so he won't be suffering the same fate that the Eagles did. I don't think you're looking at 8 sacks. I think he'll actually do pretty well, especially since there's no secondary down there in Washington. So I think him and Mark Ingram can both have good games and hopefully make it interesting. Maybe give Breeze her first loss.
I've been to some shitty cities, but there's nothing shittier than Baltimore. Baltimore
for sure.
Sucks, man. And
Absolutely
all the
I don't know though. There's some bad things happening in Philadelphia.
bad things are happening. It made me want to go to Philly.
Yeah, I gotta see these bad things.
But geezers are always like, you should go down to the Inner Harbor and get some crabs. And the Inner Harbor, you will get shot. Do not leave your hotel. Nikki and I legit got held up.
Bars.
We legit got held up in Baltimore. Yeah, she came down. I had a work conference, and she came down. She thought it would be fun to spend the weekend. And we were walking behind the hotel, pretty safe area right there by the stadium. And the dude came up to us, and he's like, yeah, you got some money to spare? I'm like, no, we literally didn't have any money. And he's like, I got a gun, man. You better just give me what you have. And he walked away. He started to make a lot of noise. People were paying attention. And within an hour, she had packed up her car, and she's like, all right, you stay for your work conference. I'm going home. So she didn't even stay the weekend. I'm out. Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah, that is scary, man. Dude, that's
but St. Louis is probably one of the scariest places I've spent some time. And Camden. Philly
Yeah, I've never
Special.
been to St. Louis or yeah, I don't think I've been in Camden either. Well, I've been in Tweederson, but I don't count. All right, so next game we have is the two of our 0-3 squads, Parade Day survivors, Philly Special. Somebody has to win. Good for them. This is good to know. Steph, they've met 3 times since the league started. Excuse me. Steph is up 2-1 in the series. They've only met in the regular season. Last couple times, the last time they met, Philly Special had a dominating win with 158-68. I don't think personally that the Philly Special is going to be able to pull it off this time. Just overcoming injuries alone. You know, they've lost Saquon Barkley. They lost their other starter. They had Marlon Mack. Melvin Gordon, we're hoping to see it out of him. He's got a good matchup against the Jets on Thursday. DeAndre Hopkins and Cooper Kupp have been absolute money, as well as Cam Newton. We just need big days out of them to carry the rest of the squad, which I think is unfortunately pretty weak.
Yeah, well, Parade Day survivor. I see her problem. Number 1 right there, Carson Wentz. See ya, buddy. Time to leave Philadelphia. You're done. Get out. You're a bust. Denny and I already broke up over this. We mean text messages on Sunday. Just trying to cut the lawn, and every 5 minutes I got Denny yelling at me because I hate Carson Wentz.
He was white lightning out on that field this weekend.
Did you? I don't know if you guys, if this ever happened to you. Maybe you, Sarah, definitely. You have the weed whacker, right? And you have like 10 more feet to go, and then the string runs out. And I'm like, oh, you mother. It's hot. The weed whacker's not going to restart, and you need 10 more feet of string. That's it. That's the worst. That happens to me every time. So that happened to me, and then Denny's like, I hate you, and I think you should love Carson Wentz.
Right, I was going to say, I think the weed whacker gets tossed in that point, you got to try and get the wire in and somehow get the cap on. Then you have about 18 feet of it outside. You can't start it without untangling it. Yeah, no, it just.
So that's one where I've definitely seen my dad like toss a piece of lawn equipment further than he can hit a golf ball. But I will say with my lawn equipment, I'm an ace. I get the string. I can have that thing fed through and rewound in like 30 seconds. I should do it on tape next week and see if I can.
I was going to say, that's a podcast thing. We'll bring your weed whacker in.
Well, I'm going to tape it on VHS. So if any of you guys have been, it's going to be dope.
You guys interested by the pre-rolled spools?
Right,
Pre-rolled spools?
I'm making straight.
Do not pre-roll spool by. Come on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Make
Come
it easy
on,
on
man.
yourself.
Come on.
better than that.
The
You're
deal.
better than that, Dennis.
I'm not above it. I'm 2 steps away from just hiring a guy to do it for me.
To wrap your string.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
awesome.
got a shiplap guy. I got a weed whack spool guy.
I do think the problem here is going to be Carson Wentz and Miles Sanders again. San Fran doesn't offer much, but
yeah, San Fran's defense is beat up right now.
yeah.
So they can be exploited. Unfortunately, I think the ball boy is catching balls this week for the Eagles. Miles Sanders could have a good game. It's unfortunate they put him away early last week, 18 touches against a terrible run defense when he got put up yards easily. He was doing it without even trying. And like I said, 18 touches, and they put him away. That really hurt last week on that. Maybe they go heavy with him this week.
Great.
Never mind.
Great. Miles Sanders limited. I haven't even been to this today.
He did pull up at the
Deshaun Jackson missed practice. Holy crap.
weird.
There's the Iron Man. Yeah, no. So She has a lot of players going in one game. George Kittle hopes to come back here. I think he comes back and just destroys the Eagles. Jerick McKinnon, that pass catching back. The Eagles are just they just don't have it. They're not a good football team.
Are you suggesting that Nate Gary isn't going to be able to cover George Kittle?
I don't even think that dude can find the goddamn stadium, let alone the open receiver.
I think he found that jersey and he put it on.
You know when they do the Make-A-Wish? They just haven't told him. Between him and Avonte Maddox pretty much dies on the field every week and then misses 2 or 3 out of embarrassment.
I think he hurts himself intentionally, like you said, so he doesn't embarrass himself.
Yeah, he gets burnt, and then next thing you know, he's dead laying on the field like something happened. He got shot. He'll be gone for 2 weeks, and then he'll be back. He'll make a big play. He'll be dancing.
You know what's really sad?
We'll be 0-5.
This was Sarah's Make-A-Wish. She wanted to join us.
Thanks, guys.
Actually, so you know what? Since we got Sarah here, and we're coming up on, we've been at least talking for at least 40 minutes. Let's jump to that matchup. How about that?
Yeah, sorry, we were playing.
All right,
So-
let's see.
Can I jump in really quick?
Yeah.
You have to show the picture between Cam Newton and Ezekiel Elliott. And it looks like they have the puzzle piece to match each other's haircut. Look at Ezekiel Elliott there, right?
I know.
And Cam Newton fills in the center if you look at Cam Newton's picture.
There it is, the
Wow.
missing piece.
Wow.
Together they make one afro.
Power Rangers.
Are we seeing Cam Newton going to Dallas? Is this what
I
they're
think that's what
trying
they're
to tell
telling
us?
us.
Cam Newton to Dallas next year. You heard it here first, guys. All right, so let's take a look at the historical matchups.
That's
All right,
'cause
Brien
Dak
versus
Prescott's
Sarah.
gonna be on the Eagles.
Brien, you have another opportunity to tie it up here. You've
All
got
right.
2-1.
Yeah, I thought we would have played each other a few more games like this. I feel like we always find each other.
Yeah.
Those aren't bad games. Oh, this was the tie game.
Yeah.
Infamous 76er.
We both crushed it.
76, the 76 ouncer.
I love that movie.
It's
Yes,
been a while since I've seen that one. That is a great film.
I actually think we both come out of this 3-1. I do. I think that this is my week. I got some moves pending that I think are going to happen and round out this team. Like Denny said last week, Thielen did show back up. Gurley played well. Prescott and Elliott were pretty reliable. I didn't get much out of Evan Ingram. I didn't get much out of my flex play, who was Goddard. 2 Eagles now on the IR, sitting on my bench. Sony Michel had a fantastic
I was
game,
going to say he came back, yeah.
but I don't know what it's going to be. It's not week to week. It's the same thing. Roll the dice. It looks like Steve Sims is just a bust. He's somebody I'm probably going to let go. I only picked him up because the reports were that he could be a young stud. He was going to be taking punts and kicks. There wasn't many guys in front of him, but he's just not coming through. Sarah, why don't you break down your team here?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm glad you asked. I got the Bills. And oh, what? Yeah. I got some really good waiver wire stuff going now that I know about the waiver wire.
Come on.
But why don't you guys break it down for me?
Oh, Sarah.
I think you have a really good shot here this week. I don't think having the Cowboys playing Cleveland is doing you any favors. So I think Brien will put up a ton of points between Dak and Zeke, but your team stands to do pretty well here. CEH, he's playing incredible football right now. Fournette's good. Ty Boyd had a huge game last week. I think you'll do all right. I think you'll be competitive. Luckily, you don't have to rely on Jonnu Smith, so you can afford to have him miss a week or however that works for you. Plus, he's always hit or miss anyway. So, but no,
Yeah.
I think you've got a legitimate shot here. I think this you could pull up an upset.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think you should play Minshaw. You should probably move Duke Johnson up. Move some of those other guys down.
Paris Campbell,
Now,
he's
Sarah,
got a
you
nice
can be
name.
honest. Did you think it was the other D Johnson when you drafted this guy?
There's
Good
two.
David Johnson.
There's two.
There's probably like 10.
No, I agree with what these guys are saying. I think, Kyler Murray, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, CEH, studs. Tyler Boyd has been playing well. Marvin Jones, he should get his looks. I think Andrews bounces back against a weak Washington DST. They just lost Chase Young, so that front four isn't as intimidating in my opinion. James White comes back. I think James White scores him. That's going to be my take of the week. He just lost one of his parents. His parents were involved in that car accident. It's an absolute shame. The team definitely tried to rally around him with that loss. I think they try and get him in the end zone here. So I think you have a solid squad here, but I do think you have an uphill battle because of Elliott and Prescott, who just lost that game, that tight game against Seattle, looking to just demolish somebody. And I think Dallas can do that to Cleveland. So I think that's going to be your struggle here, and why I think Boats and Throws actually takes this week, just propelled by Dak and Ezekiel.
Yeah. I definitely don't foresee myself winning this one. I just hope I'm at least in the 90s when it comes to points. It's the minimum.
Love it.
Sounds good.
Love it.
And, I just think it's important to show the sponsor of today's video.
There, nice. Looking good.
The booty.
What do you share custody?
Yeah. Well, they're all moving Katie down to Alabama. Well, Miss Red Visor, that's Campaign Blazer is going with her advisor. He has been giving her all the trades, and I don't think she should get any credit if she wins. But yeah, they're in Alabama, so Rusty's with me this week.
Yeah, look, I don't doubt that either because Katie was good, but this team is team's something else.
Yeah, Jack had a spreadsheet ready before the draft, just for Katie's draft, not for his own. He has.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you of all the teams that are being aided by some we'll call them co-managers, even though they're not admitting to it. Who's got the weakest advisor?
Kristen.
Wait, because Mallory's team isn't doing that great either.
Well, listen, I think that her advisor's trying his damn best. It's just a matter of the person going on and actually using even the app to set the lineup is the problem there.
I don't know. She's pretty active on rejecting trades.
Kristen's boyfriend isn't even old enough to vote.
Don't get jealous now, Brien.
Yeah, I heard Brien asking for back rubs for trades. I think we know who he's trying to trade
This is
with.
legit gray in my beard, baby. It's salt and pepper and ketchup.
Oh, let's see. What happened here? Why isn't James Gibson?
What matchup is this?
Facing
Katie
Summer
then.
and Blazers.
Oh, that's really rude because he's down in Alabama helping her set up, and she's probably just gonna.
Yeah, that's messed
Kill him.
up.
Yeah, she should throw on one.
She should bench a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
when
with
they
Derrick
leave-
Henry's game being postponed, she's going to be negatively impacted with this.
When they leave, they'll all be crying for different reasons. Your dad will be like, I'm 0-4 again. That's messed up. Yeah, I would have to guess that they're gonna get those points counted somehow for those postponed games.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's either going to. Yeah, I hope they're thinking this. I hope they're being proactive here and going to come up with a way that I don't have to go through and add 15 points for Derrick Henry. Or to
Why
each
are the
score.
games postponed?
So there was a COVID outbreak. The Tennessee Titans had 4 players test positive for the virus. They're currently checking to make sure that they're actual positives, not false positives. As a result, they've had to shut down all team activities. So they won't be allowed to re-enter their facilities until Saturday. They're doing online virtual planning for the game right now. But the Vikings, who
You
they
think
played
that's
against
just
on
them playing?
Sunday, are currently, they have had no players test positive, but because of the incubation time that takes for the virus potentially show itself in this testing, they're going to continue to test these players, so their game might also be postponed. But as of now, there's no set date to postpone them. Excuse me.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, no, it sounds. What the worst part is like, of course, we're concerned about their health, but it's like their backup nose tackles. They're one of their water boys. It's not even like, like the starters are getting it. So some knucklehead probably went out somewhere, and that's the part that kind of sucks for everybody here. But
so you think that they wouldn't have gotten on the lifeboat in the Titanic, is what you're saying?
pretty much, yeah.
Those
Yeah.
kind of people.
I have a bonus question relating to Alabama. Denny, you answer last because you probably know it. What town was Forrest Gump from?
Mobile.
He was
I got
from
nothing.
Greenbow, Alabama.
I think you should go home to Greenbow, Alabama.
Should Katie change her name to
No, not where it was filmed. Where he.
There you go, Greenbow, town of Greenbow. I'm pointing as if you guys can see me pointing at the screen.
When I was a
I
kid,
got it.
I had to wear a leg brace, and it fell off when I was running too.
So, yeah, Kate should change her team name.
I agree. Let's petition that. Campaign Blazers, I still, despite being down Derrick Henry, I think she still takes this one.
Yeah, I don't see how she doesn't. I feel though
It's gonna be hard to watch.
yeah, she just has a really good team here. I mean, Josh Allen, some of us talked about it before. It was only a matter of time. Guy's a stats monster. He'll be a fantasy football top number one quarterback just based on the yardage for, airing it out all the time. So he'll be around for a while with that. Everything else, it's just a well-constructed team. I did see Antonio Gibson was projected to have a good week this week. Although Baltimore, I don't know, I think it's tough for anyone to run against them. Still think she'll be okay. And then, I do think at some point in time here, Chasing Summer puts it together. One of these weeks, all these guys, it's all going to click.
I'll tell you what it is. He's got to move on from the Giants quarterback.
Danny Dimes. Yeah, absolutely.
Because he picked up Gage, which we talked about last week, was a good pickup. Mixon's not dead. Mixon's got legs.
Yeah, he had a decent game.
I think if he's willing to just throw in another quarterback, almost everybody on the waiver wire is projected to get at least 15 points. I mean, you can't go wrong by just giving up on Danny for a bit.
Yeah,
good running backs for me to trade with?
So he has Latavius Murray, Mike Davis, and Joe Mixon. Latavius Murray is a good running back on any other team. He just can't beat out Alvin Kamara because he's Alvin Kamara. He's a decent running back otherwise. Mike Davis, he's the top running back down there in Carolina, isn't he, Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has probably another week or two until Christian McCaffrey comes back.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is Le'Veon Bell. I mean, look, this was a high draft pick. The guy got hurt. He didn't have a great start to the season. And frankly, I think there's going to become a changing of the guard in coaching after Thursday.
Yeah, they said if they don't win, he's likely out.
Exactly. I think Gase is gone, and I think they're bringing in a new coach who's going to, they're not going to have the time to instill a brand new offense. They're going to have to run simple plays. It's going to run through Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
What if they bring Rex Ryan back?
Absolutely. I would love that. That man cracked me up. Sarah, what are your thoughts on Rex Ryan?
Lex Luthor?
He reminds me of the dude. Big Lex.
Sarah, you don't like word association?
I'm just actually doing crossword puzzles over here until you say my name.
All right, let's jump to, all right, so last week, I don't know about you guys, but I found myself checking the game between Richard and your dad more frequently than my own score.
Yeah, that
Chuck
was
was
close
favored.
for a long
Uncle
time.
Chuck was favored to win by 20. He's going to lose by 5. They're tied. Richard's going to win by 15. Patrick Mahomes puts up 50 points and wins that was so much. I got to tell you, I really enjoyed watching that one. The score was tight. It was back and forth. I really, really enjoyed watching that. It was a really intense matchup. I hope they had fun. But I think your dad or Richard actually ended up pulling out the win in the end of that one.
Yeah.
Check that one out.
Yeah, that was cool because they both had monsters playing that night. Kamara was playing, and then as you guys were saying, Mahomes, and it was just fireworks. It was a great game and something definitely more interesting to watch. When I finally was all over, though, I couldn't believe that it was a 23-point difference because it was so close for a long time there.
Yeah, going into that game, Richard was projected to lose by, I think, 10. And then Patrick Mahomes just, made everything look, those projections of 20.9 look silly, went absolutely off. No, this was a lot of fun to watch. Like you said, I can't believe it was your dad ended up losing by 20.
That Eagles special teams still projected to be pretty good. I don't know. Defense looks okay. What's the deal with Boston Scott?
I don't know. I just don't think I think they got away from the running game, so they didn't plan to use them.
Yeah,
But didn't you hear what happened?
What happened, Sarah?
He lost his shoelaces.
I lost the shoelaces.
It's a tragedy.
You don't see
Everybody's
anybody out
very
there with Velcro. And there are some dumbass players out there, but nobody's got Velcro.
They have like butterflies on the end, so he knows where to connect them.
Oh, it's gonna be October. They'll be wearing all their pink gear, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
They do a couple cancer ones, and then they do a troop one, right? They got to salute the troops.
Yeah.
have they been piping in fake fans for the football games and stuff?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible, and sometimes it's louder than the referees, so you can't even
Really?
still can't hear the calls.
You know what else I noticed? The Eagles chant that they pipe in is too fast. Like they don't,
Is it?
they don't let it breathe. Like E-A, like they don't know the pacing. So it goes E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles, E-A-G-L-E-S.
They have it on like 1.5. They're like, let's come on.
It doesn't have the accent either. Got to get some hoagies and go over to the stadium.
Yeah. Watch the Eagles.
I was gonna say, careful chanting that. If I have you guys on loud, all my neighbors will start chanting.
Yeah, everybody comes out. Yeah, that even happens in my neighborhood. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nikki was mad because our one neighbor yells and stuff. She said, I hate this time of year. All he does is that. I will say the guy yells a lot. They only live there about a year, and I'm pretty sure he's beating his wife in there. Because you can't yell that much, just during the course of your day and not hit people too.
Is it just during the games or just in general?
No, in general, he's always on the telephone and he always walks out front and he's like, blah, 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 rah, rah, rah. Yeah, so either he works with morons or he's got a problem.
A little bit of both, probably.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Do we want to keep going or do we want to wrap it up for the day?
I would say wrap it up so we can talk podcasts offline.
You got it.
Sounds good.
Is there anything else really that stands out to anyone this week? Anything to look up, look to? Waiver wires getting thinner and thinner with everyone hitting the IR and now the postponements, and it's really kind of bare bones when you look at it, and you find yourself looking and considering guys that are on the IR maybe coming back in 3 weeks and projecting to see what you may be able to do at that point.
Yeah, I was waiver wire 8, and it's fingers crossed by the time you get to 8. So I'd say the first 4 teams will get somebody. Everybody else is just going to pretty much stay the same. I'm sure everybody's got their name in for Lazard, like you were saying.
Yeah.
There was a quarterback, hot young quarterback.
Is well, Foles is now back in the mix.
Yeah.
So he's out there. No one is yet to pick up David Carr, are they?
I'm not sure.
He's a solid quarterback out there that is floating around on the bench every week.
You mean Derek Carr?
Yeah.
I think David's his older brother who is infamous for taking the league history number of sacks.
Yes.
Closely by Carson Wentz.
With the
right. We had an argument on another in another conversation where I said Mike Vick is better than Carson Wentz. Sarah, you got Mike Vick? I got
No comment. I'm just gonna say no comment.
Okay, Alex, Mike Vick over Wentz. Mike Vick in his prime, like Atlanta, just down there, balling it, dogs. Just
Absolutely.
right.
Brien, yes.
Yeah, he was a
Brien,
monster.
absolutely.
Yeah, remember he was also throwing to guys like Julio Jones and he had Devin Hester and who was his running back? He had like two monsters of running backs.
Denny.
We've got
Beeman.
Was it
Willie Beeman and his running back was LL Cool J.
Telling you, we got Make-A-Wish kids catching balls.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll wrap this one up. Sorry for all the play. We were just having fun since we didn't get to see each other. We didn't do 2 this week just because Brien was tired on Monday. But we'll try to maybe do 2 next week, do a weekend recap and a preview.
Wait, before we wrap it up, one thing.
Yeah.
My internet's just loading slowly. Okay. I have Minshew, the quarterback, on my bench, and I'm willing to talk trades with people about him and a running back.
Minshaw?
Sure. Gardner from Jacks?
Yep, Gardner
Yeah.
Minshew. Yep.
from the Jacks.
You're right. Yeah, good. All right. Yeah, I don't know these guys either. Although I do find myself paying more attention. You listen to a fantasy podcast?
To yours?
No, to real ones. Denny and Alex do, right? All right, we'll stop recording.
Okay.